Sup, it's Hallie. Welcome back to Lakria Legends. When we last left off, we were hunting unicorns, and we are continuing to hunt unicorns. Let me just save the game real quick in this extra slot, and we will resume our efforts in just a little bit. Because the thing is, last time we looked at all the moves. We don't have any more moves to look at, so we're going to go ahead and shut up, Lakria. There we go. Lakria is shut up. And we're going to put on some other music to listen to. I got my Troubadour here. It's playing Surf from Pokemon, but we're just going to listen to battle music. Hope that's okay. Did I hit the right button to make that go? Hold on. I did not. I don't know where control is located on my keyboard. Okay. So, now we've got battle themes to keep us entertained while we look out for unicorns. Oh boy. And we need to remember to read the bestiary whenever we get 5 unicorns. Anyway, a multiple of 5. And we need to, what else was there? Remember to upgrade skills sometimes, I guess. We won't need to, fight these things anymore. We can just escape. We can just escape from them. Isn't that nice? That should make finding the unicorns a lot easier. Case in point. I'm curious to see just how many we'll be able to fit into this thing. It does kind of stink not being able to hear the sound effects in the game, because that kind of helps. Alright, 1 unicorn located already. I was counting them over here. Wait, no, that wasn't it. It was this one. That's the number I need to change. I still have my lights off. Oh, did I bump numlock at some point? It didn't do numbers when I pushed the numpad. Hey! Numlock, you stay on. There you go. It's better. Oh boy. I should probably also double check how many shells I have. Oh wait, I think I have 0 currently because the game takes them out of your inventory right away, but we're supposed to have 20 more since we were over by 20 last time. You know, I might need to turn this up actually, because this music is balanced against, like, Aiden Chronicles, and Aiden Chronicles is a much quieter game. Yeah, I'm gonna bump that up by a couple there. Let me fix it in my ears, too. Hold on. Maybe that's too loud. There, that should be better. Hopefully. Hopefully. Let's continue on. We were going to open the enchanted bag. I had one left over from last time, apparently? When did I have an extra enchanted bag? Unicorn feed was hidden inside. Oh man, this means we need to wait for visual confirmation of what we found in the thing, too. Not that we didn't before anyway. It's just... man. It stinks. We can't go by sound effect anymore. Like, we used to be able to tell instantly when it was, like, money or something. Oh well, it's like a marginal difference in time. So yeah, I've got my battle theme playlist in here set to, it'll play each battle theme basically 3 times before fading out and going to the next one. Yeah, because that's how I set it up. It's pretty nice. It will also be nice in Aiden, because, like, it doesn't always go auto. That's a new feature of the thing. So if I turn auto off, it would just play the same battle theme infinitely forever. Pretty fun. And if you're curious what the name of any given song is, it's scrolling along the bottom there. And now I'm feeling like this song is too quiet, too. Good grief. It's bound to vary by song, but maybe I could bump this up a little louder than if that previous one was too quiet to go off of. Fate of the Unknown, you're just so peaceful. Can I please get some rainbow seashells out of this bag? Also, we will need to read the bestiary after we've opened these things. Hello, game. Can I see what happened? Game, are you okay? My goodness. Couldn't tell if it froze. Phew. Whopping 500 gold. How much money do we have now? Let's find out. A mere 173,000. No big deal. Unicorn horn. And of course, we get a unicorn within like the first minute, and then the game would just troll us this way. So I spent like an inordinate amount of time this week refining my Pokemon TCG spreadsheet, because it was originally set up in such a way that like all the Pokemon were divided by like the elements they use and sometimes the types they have. Like, if they use fire energy, obviously they go on the fire chart, but I also had it such that if they don't have an energy requirement, they go on the type, or the chart that matches their type. Okay, I didn't see anything that happened there. Apparently I clicked away the message before it even appeared, but we didn't get seashells, we can tell, because there were still only 5. But anyway, yeah, basically the only requirements before for being on a chart were you either use the element, or you are the element and have no other types we require. There's some rainbow seashells. We still gotta open that second bag. But that kind of left some problems in the whole thing, because there would be like evolutionary lines that were incomplete. So I decided, since evolution is a really important part of the Pokemon trading card game, that in addition to being on a chart if you match the type or use the type, you're also there if you evolve into or from something on the chart without creating an elemental discrepancy. And that's important because, like, some Pokemon have changed types over the years in the trading card game. Because any given chart is generally, or no, any given card is generally one type. Game, please show me the boxes. Here we go, we got 2 boxes of rainbow, so we need to look at the bestiary. I will reserve the rest of my rant for later. You see, I started the rant because I knew the game would give me their seashells as soon as I did. Let's see, where did we leave off with all these things? I think... Did we read the... Yeah, we read this. We read these ones. Didn't we? Maybe we didn't. There's a pirate. These pirates have been reanimated by an ancient curse. It is said they still sail the seas. Drops his hat. Okay, yeah, that's right. I remembered reading this one, but I didn't realize it was before this guy. Muckman. Muckman are decomposed bodies that have risen from the ocean floor 20,000 leagues below. They don't drop anything. The other guys dropped pirate hats, even though they're visibly not wearing any. Captain Gomez, the captain of the Blue Sail pirate crew. He has been known to conquer all of the 7 seas. He drops a ruler's scepter. The Aqua Gel. This water is the result of tainted energy in the sanctuary. It will not hesitate to drown its foes. Oh my, drops mono water. The Mega Claw. Mega Claws rely on their enormous claw for everything. It can crush just about anything. Okay, they don't drop anything though. Gator. Wiggling his little tail there. These beasts are drawn to the temple due to all the fish and sea life roaming within. They drop shiny scales. I'm still dubious as to whether gators that can live in the ocean, because aren't they freshwater things? The siren. All who hear the siren sing are spellbound. They are mostly harmless unless provoked. She drops a pearl sometimes. Mossman. They are another aquatic species that migrated to the temple. They prefer to hunt in tribes. They drop mystic potions. They really don't look like sea dwellers. Irenus, the rare enemy. These constructs are magically animated by the Capo's ancestors. They protect the sanctuary. And they dropped the Autopton Scroll. We got one. I think we got two, didn't we? Did we get lucky and drop two? Wart Frog. Ugh. Each wart contains a special restorative ooze. It also has an insatiable hunger for sea life. And it drops the ooze vial. That was like a singular stat boost, if I recall. Pretty lame. We don't need to go any further, though. That's our 10 entries for now. Let's go find more unicorns while I continue talking about the Pokemon thing. So as I was saying, yeah, some Pokemon have changed to types over the years on the cards, most notably poison types, because in the start they were treated as grass types, and all their cards were grass. And then, at some point around, like, I want to say Gen 4 or whatever, they decided, nah, we'll make them psychic. So then they had purple cards for a while there. And then, in the most recent times, they've shifted to have them be dark instead. The poison is lumped in with dark, and I think that's actually the best place for it, personally. But that means you have, like, Zubats from the early days that are grass type, and then there are Zubats from the middle days where they're psychic, and Zubats from modern times where they're dark, and that's like 3 different elements within the same evolutionary line. So you don't want your grass Zubats evolving into, like, your dark Golbats and stuff, if they're going to have more elemental discrepancies, because that's going to spread your deck thin. You have to bring grass for the grass things and dark for the dark things, and that's just no good. God help you if you've got, like, both of those evolving into a psychic Crobat or something. So basically, they're sorted by their charts for evolution-wise, only if they don't create a discrepancy or if there are no other options. Did it do the thing? I have fully recovered. Okay, good. Also, we can totally go get a fairy ink. Oh hey, it's that person. Hold on, I need to move my media player box so I can see the chat. Hello, welcome to Doki Doki player person. How far am I in this game? We're at the very end, my dude. We could beat the game today if we so chose, but we need to grind up more unicorns to get more seashells, to get more fairy inks, to get the last of the skill upgrades, and the one equipment item we haven't collected from, like, Paradise Island. It's really something. Also, man, this song is really long. It's got a long loop. Ah, okay. Yes, indeed. So, anyway, as I was saying about the Pokemons and their trading card elements and stuff. Yeah, basically, whenever there were incomplete evolutionary lines, I would look for Pokemon to fill them that did not require energy types in the first place, because some cards are like that. Like, if a card only requires colorless energy, or it doesn't have any energy requirements at all, it's basically compatible with anything it can evolve into or from. You have episode 2 of Yuri and Koto in the work. By the way, how long is Undercurrents? You didn't expect it to me long. It is very long, but we actually finish it this week. The last episode is going up tomorrow. But there are a few other games in my queue ahead of yours, so don't hold your breath. I don't know how long some of them might be. There's a lot of stuff for me to get through on the DDLC front still. Oh gosh, this song is even longer than the previous one. You can't see how long the songs are, but I can, because I've got a little icon in the corner of my, it's in the bottom corner of my music window that tells me how long it will be before the thing loops, or finishes playing, and this one goes for 983 seconds. It's also from this game, so hey, how about that? I don't remember this battle theme. I don't remember what part of the game this battle theme was from. Sounds like when you're fighting Fate, but I'm pretty sure it's not. Who knows, maybe episode 2 will be out when you made it to yours, but you don't want to promise something. Yeah, it's alright. Whether it's out by then or not, it kind of doesn't matter, because you can just put it in the queue when it's ready. And if it is ready by then, I'll just play them one after the other. I wonder if Fateful Decision isn't the final battle theme of this game, because I feel like we haven't heard it yet. No, get out of the save menu, you stinker. We gotta open that enchanted bag. Enchanted bag. Come on. Game? Yeah, the one thing I will not miss about this series at all is the stinking lag. My goodness. So much lag. So anyway, yeah, completing evolutionary lines on my Pokemon charts. The only time I allowed discrepancies to occur was whenever there was no way around it. Like, for example, I've got these nose passes, and they're all fighting type because back in the day, well, actually, were they ever steel types? They might have always been just pure rock. But anyway, they evolve into Probopass, and I've only got one Probopass as it currently stands, and it uses steel energy. So, rather than have the nose passes unable to evolve, they pair up with that inadequate Probopass regardless. And if I ever get a fighting Probopass, I can kick the steel Probopass off of that chart. In the meantime, though, gotta put up with it. So yeah, the criteria for Pokemon appearing on the charts goes something like, do you use the element? If yes, you're on the chart. Do you use no elements, but you are that element? Yes, then you're on the chart. You evolve into or from something, but you don't require a special energy, then you're on the chart. And do you evolve into or from something on the chart, and there are no other options, then you're on the chart. And between all of those, there were like hundreds of entries across all 9 elements. It's quite a mess. A very messy thing. Never have I put so much effort into something so useless. Because the whole point of the thing is to generate random decks that are like at least viable in theory. I hesitate to use the word or the phrase viable because like I feel like that doesn't necessarily describe how they work. It's random in the Pokemon it gives you and trainers and all that, but you get a wide variety of each kind of thing. So the decks work in theory, that they're operational. Functional, perhaps, is a better word to describe how those decks are. There's just, like, no intention behind any strategies that might evolve from using them. Whoopsies. I reset upon opening the bag, not upon seeing its contents. Come now, Hal. But anyway, yeah, getting all those charts together was like a serious time sink this week, and I'm glad to be done with it. I used it to generate a deck already, and I'm looking forward to using it in like a week. It'll be fun, probably. I'm probably gonna get stomped anyway, but it shouldn't be too bad. Because like one of the things it gives me was like a group of Pikachu, and the Pikachu are like from one of the older sets, but the Raichus they evolve into, at least a couple of them, are strong enough to still contend. Like as long as a card can do at least 100 damage, it's not too bad by modern standards. Oh hey, look, another unicorn. But yeah, a couple of the Raichus they evolve into are fine, and the other Pokemon it gave me was Wattrel, which evolves into Kilowattrel, and those are all from Gen 9 anyway, so they don't have to worry about being weak. They already have the power necessary, so like, at least stand a chance. Doesn't mean they can take a whack, but you know, if you worry about being able to take whacks in the card game these days, you're basically in trouble regardless. Because there's, no matter what, there's like some card out there that can one-hit kill you. Like, goodness. If I recall, the card with the most HP that I read about was like, I want to say it was Garganical with 340 HP and a defensive power that reduces the damage it takes by 60 or something. But you know, there's also like this Gyarados out there, where it does 180 damage with its attack, and if the Pokemon it hits was damaged before, it just does another 180, so 360 in total. And I guess that would be, what, well, it's 18 minus 6, that's 12, that would be 240 damage against that Garganical. I don't know if it's weak to water, but the point is, the damage numbers have gotten so ridiculous that basically anything can be one-hit knocked out. So, you just gotta, it's more about, like, momentum and being able to dish that kind of damage yourself. Rainbow seashells. I didn't rack up that unicorn, did I? Or did I? I forget. We should have 32, should we not? 32? I did it. I need to have more faith in myself. So yeah, we should, as it currently stands, have whatever's in the inventory of Rainbow Seashells plus 20. So we're up to 65, technically. At least I believe that's what the variable should say. Doesn't mean that's what it will say. Just trying to trust Lakria. Even if it doesn't work out exactly right, it kind of doesn't matter. Because we can always find more. If we need to get extra unicorns because the game is dumb and broken, then we'll do that. It's actually not that big of a deal. What? I failed to escape? Then kill them. He'll blow them away. Actually, it's far more likely that Lena will blow them away. Oh, good grief. Lena, take a turn. Oh yeah, and I took the health-draining hat off of Serene for now, so she doesn't have to suffer needlessly. What RPG Maker is this using? This was made in RPG Maker 2003, which, to my knowledge, is the third version ever made. Kinda crazy, really. They kinda... Easy RPG only works for 2002 and 2003. I have no idea. Possibly? That's a plugin, I think. I don't really know. I was never that savvy with this particular version. All my experience with RPG Maker is in, like, 2000, which was the version before this, and the version I prefer because that was before they introduced ATB, and ATB just plain sucks. Plants, you have not allowed me to leave. I will kill you as a result. But yeah, this particular game really seems to push the limits of 2K3 with, and that is why it's lagging all the time, because it's got so many things going on that it probably shouldn't. Oh, okay, you just got an emulator handheld. Oh, neato. It uses Easy RPG. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but, theoretically it might work on your thing there. And it's not a bad game, I wouldn't say. There are things that are bad about it, but it's... I mean, I wouldn't have played it twice if I really despised it for any particular reason. Yeah, my main criticisms of it were that, like, the systems it implements are not implemented all the way through, and that the plot is kinda generic fantasy plot. Extremely generic. But it does some cool stuff too. The things it does cool are pretty great. Oh, I didn't mean to escape from the unicorn. Oh dear. That's okay, we'll find another one. Good job, me. I was like, do I need to defend here? I need to be conscious of what I'm doing. At least a little bit. Oh yeah, and my other main criticism of this game is that it takes a long time. It's very padded out in unnecessary ways. You got two Karen games. Ops misspelled their name. Karen? Karen, I don't think I know what you mean without you explaining that misspelling. I'm glad this next unicorn was not far off from the one we ran away from. There we go. Put it on the board. Unicorn number 33. Although having that enchanted bag at the start, that extra one, makes me worried that I failed to document a unicorn at some point. I will recalculate the required number of shells after this stream is over and make sure that we've got the right amount. Game, work! Show me what is happening! Okay. Save to the game. Open the enchanted bag. Show me what's inside, please. 2 broiled mushrooms. I refuse. No, not new story. Load chapter. Bag is empty. Nope. Creators of Yonderella? That doesn't tell me much more because I don't even know what that is. What on earth is Yonderella? Unicorn feed. Meh. You got it because of a DDLC mod. Yeah, I have no idea what you might be talking about because I'm too unfamiliar with everything else you said except DDLC mod. Work, game. Work. Bag is empty. You got it. Froze for a sec. Oh yeah, it freezes all the time. I mean, well, the game is still running, theoretically. It doesn't update what we're seeing for some reason. It really struggles to play the game in this environment. I blame Lakria because it is almost certainly a Lakria issue. Like, the computer could be better, yes, but it is definitely Lakria just being itself. Being poorly optimized. After all, we run other games with no trouble at all. Where? Ren, get to the warp. There you go. Yeah, you will see it stutter and chug constantly. Definitely not the best game to stream. Oh, looky, another unicorn. Super duper nice. That makes up for the one we ran away from. Except not really. Could have had another bag, still. Enchanted bag. Put the unicorn on the board. We'll be reading the bestiary again in no time. Yeah, like sometimes whenever it's really responsive whenever I pause. That's why you see me pausing so often. I'll pause to refresh the game, and that'll show me where it's progressed to in the time that it wasn't updating the visuals. What's in this enchanted bag? If it's not seashells, we're resetting. 20 gold. Come on now. Unicorn feed. Hey, the song finally ended. Now it's this song from that game. And we got it in that other game. This is the battle team they used for that Monica fight we initially missed in SMT Savior's meta by killing her too quickly. SMT was also a badly optimized game. I guess I should specify SMT Savior's meta, since, you know, there are many SMTs. That just happens to be one of them, and not an official one. This song has a tendency to get stuck in my head. Something about it is just like, it's one of those earworm songs, you know? It just gets in there and doesn't get out. So let's see, what's been going on besides Pokemon trading card game stuff? Well, I am still working on Pokemon Hunter, the update. Oh my goodness, this is like the third unicorn in a row. Anyway, yeah, Pokemon Hunter. Got like the monsters all finished updating and stuff. Now I'm updating the battle groups. Thankfully, most of what's changed there is only like the positions of the monsters and their HP. Well, not their HP. Whenever they evolve, they get a chunk of their HP back to make up for what they would have had if they started at that level. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. That's our 35th unicorn. Oh boy. But basically, the Pokemon they evolve into obviously would have had higher HP than the Pokemon they were. So, whenever they evolve, they get awarded that HP manually because the game doesn't do it itself. It just keeps the monster at the HP level it already was. Nice rain effects? Yeah, it has okay rain effects. That's one of the reasons why this game lags though, because like it's always checking the weather. It's like, am I gonna make it rain now? Yeah. That's like in any outdoor area, it's checking to see if it should start raining or something. Doesn't really add anything in my opinion. I'd rather have like one area be rainy when it's important for it to be rainy or something. Atmosphere, etc. That's what happens when you put all your stock into bells and whistles. But yeah, the Pokemon and Pokemon Hunter actually get a much bigger jump in HP now than they used to. Because, I had decided I would make it such that when a Pokemon evolves, it like gets halfway toward being a mini-boss in stats, and if it evolves again, it does get mini-boss stats. So that's something. And now they get like a really big chunk of HP whenever they evolve. But they also become worth more experience and worth more money, and they have a chance of dropping rare items, so... And if they evolve twice, they actually double their chance of dropping the rare item, so... There are reasons to stick around in combat for these harder fights. But yeah, I had to update all the battle groups with those. Still got a ways to go on that. I'm only up to, like, the 6th area out of 8, plus post-game, plus classic mode, which doubles everything, so... doubles the number of everything, I mean, not like doubles their stats, it's not stupid like that. Although, with my system as it is, I could, theoretically, have an infinite number of areas. Well, I don't know if the heroes would be able to keep up. It seems to balance out right around where it currently stands. Because the games are much longer, the challenges might get a little difficult without more artificial ways of boosting stats or whatever. But that can be interesting in its own way too. Anyway, that's all beyond the scope, because the scope is already too large. Once I get the battle groups back up and running, I can theoretically get back to working on like the maps and things. But I've also been thinking about looking at the battle animations. Some of those could do with an update, and I can probably need new ones for some of the new moves and things. No, not new story. Load chapter. Come on, game. Open the bag. Pegasus armor. Nope. Things are getting a little cluttered up for me on the art front now. I've got a bunch more thumbnails I need to draw. I'm in the middle of making one for the Trouble in Sarasaland playlist. And that's well on its way, just gotta get around to it, really. Game, show me the result! But I've also gotta draw one for Undercurrents now, and I don't know. Get to the pause menu. I don't think Wishing Stars Winter Wishes will take another recording session, so that one's almost done. Spelunky Editor Plus is nowhere near being finished, but it's looking like we'll be putting it down to pick up with my queue, since RMN could be back any day now. That's encouraging. But it's not like that adds to my art queue at all, because I'm not going to draw an image for Editor Plus until we're finished with the series. And if we're putting on a hold, just like we did with, oh, what was it? I forgot what it was called already. It was whatever we played before Spelunky, because we had needed to stop it since we got stuck. That's another thing I'm hoping will get resolved whenever RMN is back. I'll be able to get in touch with that developer and see if we can't figure out what went wrong there. Seashells, please. Seashells. Gold. I'm kind of looking forward to the next series we do on this channel, in this stream setting. We're going to be revisiting Lisa the Painful once again, but this time the gimmick will be that we have to get as many people killed in the game as we possibly can. Basically, the genocide route of Lisa the Painful. Not that it officially has one, but there are a lot of people you can kill in that game, including your own party members. So, figuring out how best to get everybody destroyed is basically going to be the challenge. And we're also going to, like, make a big old death toll list. We're going to have a list of everybody who dies, or is found dead, perhaps. I don't know if I want to add corpses, because there are a lot of corpses, too. My goodness, there's that snowy peak where the Joy Mutant Peter lives, and I don't know if I want to bother counting all of the corpses up top there. That's a lot of corpses. I don't know, maybe we can figure out an efficient way to do it. But at the very least, if people are dying by our hands, we can document them and just see how many people get killed across the whole thing. And we'll be able to continue that one into Joyful as well, because that gimmick carries over just fine. I can't remember if there was anything else to it. Oh hey, Donkey Kong Country Returns. That game had some good music. This was from the Chicken Boss. It was operating a giant machine. Pretty funky battle team. Definitely one of the better ones. Oh, and I did go ahead and act on what I described last time about adding Poem Panic as a battle theme in here. That is now a battle theme on this list. We're probably not going to hear it anytime soon, but it is in there. I mean, I could force it to play, but I'm not gonna. I also added the theme, or the soundtrack from New Super Mario Bros. Wii to it just today, so those songs are in there too. We're up to like 479 battle themes. It's kind of ridiculous. Had an easy time updating it this week though, because there were no new battle themes across the Let's Plays. Because we haven't encountered any battles in Winter Wishes yet, and I'd already added the ones from Sarasa Land, and Spelunky, we already have the only battle theme from that, so as long as I'm still playing Spelunky, I don't have to worry about new fight themes on that front. And I've had the Lakria battle themes in here for a long time. And obviously, battle themes from the DDLC itself are pretty rare. There's the seashells. Oh, I need to read the bestiary. Hold up. Let's go read the bestiary. Bestiary. Who is next? This guy. King Kraken. The self-proclaimed king of Dimora Ocean. He rules alongside his majestic queen, Alaria. He drops the Illumination Relic. And then there's Queen Alaria, the majestic sea nymph of Dimora Ocean. She adores nothing more than riches and her king. She drops the Geyser Relic. And there's the Trapper. The Trappers hide underneath anything they can find. They drag their prey downwards to attack, and drop sharp claws. The Hexlet. This is the result of a doomed spirit, cursed to endlessly roam the vast barren desert. Ugh, creamy. They drop horse stones. Closter. This shell of a Closter is nearly impenetrable. The needle-like tips can release deadly toxins, and they're super annoying. Dingo. They travel in packs, and will not stop chasing their prey until they have caught it. So don't run away. Canine Tooth is their drop. The Golmite. Golmites are formed from the rock and stone throughout the desert. The process is unknown. Maybe we should study it and find out how, guys. Maybe we can put a stop to it. They're annoying. Runic Potion is their drop. The Hellwing, which was a rare enemy. This massive bird can lift twice its weight. They do not hunt. Instead, they are scavengers. Oh, okay. You'd think something that big could afford to hunt, but no. They drop a ruffled coat. Crawshack. Ugh. This beast is responsible for creating many sand dunes in the desert. It lives underground. Yep, it drops the monstrous feeler. And it's kind of gross to look at. This guy's even grosser. It's like a house centipede gone awry. Larvos. Larvos live and feed beneath the sands. It uses its corrosive acid to melt almost any substance. It drops an acidic tooth. Oh, I don't read Impy yet. Impy's gotta wait. He's gotta wait his turn. We have 5 more unicorns before we read Impy. Let's see here. What else is going on? Still working my way through Goldeneye. I managed to beat Frigate and a couple other levels that I'd originally passed up on. Whoopsies. Or, well, like, I'd beaten them, but not really, and actually Frigate is now in that category itself. Because I finally got a run where I managed to defeat all of the guards around the boat, and I was in the process of blowing everything up. Because that's, like, part of the gimmick for that run. It's just blow up everything that can be blown up. But the problem was, I forgot to disable the bridge bomb before blowing it up. Because it's fine to blow up the bomb as long as you've already disarmed it first. So I failed that objective, and then I forgot to tag the helicopter on my way out too, so I failed that objective as well. But I was like, you know what? I'm willing to call it good, because those extra steps are no big deal. But, you know, I'll probably feel bad about it and go back later and do it anyway. I did start finding more and more consistent ways of getting through it without getting blown up by the rocket launcher guards. It's just such a pain. It's a tricky mission. There are so many guys, and they can come from unpredictable places because the pathing in that level is kind of strange. Like, the guards don't always just go directly to you. They're not very predictable unless you know what paths they're intending to take in the first place. And those paths aren't always the most obvious or direct, which can result in guards with rocket launchers sneaking up on you or being in places you didn't expect, and, well, that's just game over in close quarters like that. But yeah, I felt like it was plenty good enough to have succeeded where I did. This is a good song. I like this one. That's our 36th unicorn. We heard this one in Fae of the Crimson Eclipse. But it's from King of Fighters. Save the game twice. Restore your health. And save the game again. I don't care. Open the bag. We got a lot of seashells. Alright, yeah, but anyway, having gotten through that level, my new headache in GoldenEye is the archives. Because that's not a place where you want to make a lot of noise, and surprise, surprise, rocket launchers are extremely noisy. And it is yet another close quarters level with lots of guards, and not necessarily the most predictable guards either. Like, it's not too hard to, deal with them, per se. But a lot of them have patrol routes, and it's hard to keep track of where all those guys go, so it's another situation where they can sneak up on you pretty easily. And you get, like, enough normal ammo to work with. Like, you're only, really stuck with a rocket launcher in the first room itself, and you don't even need to use it. You can just hand slap the guards there to take care of them. And then after that, you can grab your PP7 off the table and use that. And there's ammo for it in the filing cabinets. But even with that, it's just really, really risky. The big trouble I've been having with the rocket launcher guards is that they use the same animations as, like, the ZMG or any handheld weapon that's... Because, like, there are two different animation sets that the guards in GoldenEye use for their firing. There's the rifle, where it has two hands, and then there's the single-handed weapons, of which the rocket launcher is one, somehow. So, those weapons can be fired more quickly from different poses than rifles can. So sometimes you have guards that it takes them a little bit longer to shoot at you, and sometimes they just fire instantly, or almost instantly enough that you really can't react. And when they fire exploding bullets in close quarters, you know, that's kind of a recipe for disaster. So I'm still learning how best to navigate the archives without getting blown to smithereens. At the very least, you don't need Natalia to follow you for most of it. You can go around taking out the guards and be mostly fine. Sure, there are a couple in the room with her that you'll need to deal with. But, still better than having her follow you around whenever there are other people who can blow you up. A deceptively difficult mission. You might think it would be better to just, like, run past them all, but again, exploding bullets in close quarters, it's not going to work out for you. Gotta figure that one out. Still looking forward to whatever I do after GoldenEye. Been too long since I played a new game. I am preparing to get back into battling Pokemon online. That's sure something. I think I talked a little bit about this last week, but I've got a team that I'm going to be porting into Sword to play online there. And they were mostly fine, actually. I want to tweak a bunch of their stats, and I'm in the process of doing that now. I just use the islands in Ultra Sun to manage all their stats. But they only needed one new move, because my Dragonite, that new barrier, it could still no barrier, but the move doesn't do anything, and that's just tragic. So I replaced it with Toxic, because it's a flying Dragonite. It uses Fly, and they're just suffering from poison, and it just flies and roosts off their damage while they're on a hard timer. Is it just me, or is the song's not fading out when they shift? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I gave him Toxic and adjusted his stats to reflect that he no longer has double Deef. And the only other thing I needed was a spell tag for my Jirachi, which powers up its Shadow Ball just a bit. Because it didn't need anything else to really boost it. It relies on Doom Desire. It's like, it's got a speedy nature, so I have its speed max, or at least as high as it needs to go. And I think it was Hasty was its nature, which was lowering one of its defenses. So I was like, alright, I will take this opportunity to make a Jirachi that uses Iron Defense and Calm Mind. So, being naturally fast, it can set up whichever defense it needs immediately. And when its Doom Desire is powered up with Calm Mind, it reaches, like, catastrophic levels of damage. Just gotta be patient and wait for it. And it has Shadow Ball for coverage, so it doesn't have to worry about getting walled by something resistant to Steel, unless it's resistant to both Steel and Ghost, which is not a whole lot of Pokemon. But even if it is resistant, I guess it has more concern about, like, special tanks like Chansey than anything else. It would have a hard time powering through a Chansey, I think. Or a Blissey, God help me. But yeah, outside of special sponges, it can do some really serious damage. Oh right, and Shadow Ball, it has like it normally has a 20% chance of lowering special defense, but with Serene Grace it has a 40% chance. So yeah, that's a factor against special sponges too. Except, you know, the Pokemon in question, Chansey, is immune to Shadow Ball. So, that's ugly business. It's whatever. Not every Pokemon can solve every situation. That's why you need a variety of pokes on your team. Save the game. I'm gonna restore HP. I'm gonna save. Alright. Let's open. did I not save when we opened that other bag? Oh, whatever. Whatever, I don't know where we got a second bag from. Or maybe I just forgot to open it last time at all. Did I document that unicorn? I'm losing my mind. Man, I'm gonna have to, like, re-crunch all the numbers after this stream and figure out how much of everything I need to make sure everything's up to date. You know, The Lost is another game I might like to revisit in a stream setting, because, well, I mean, it is kind of a long RPG, but, the one thing that deters me from doing so is that it's incomplete as it currently stands. Like, the demo we played does have a definite endpoint, and the interest I would have in streaming it stems from the fact that there are choices you can make in that game that make the game more challenging, and I would be curious to see how those play out. Like, see if we can take the hard path in every possible circumstance. Opens the enchanted bag. But yeah, that's like way down the road. I don't know when we're ever going to get to that. If ever. Who knows? Maybe the world will blow up by then. We'll be doing Let's Plays from Heaven. But yeah, like, even after, the next Lisa playthrough, I was going to plan on getting back to Aiden, because we don't have a playthrough of the original Aiden on this channel yet. We've only done the mods. So I was thinking it might be interesting to do a totally vanilla playthrough of Aiden, and yet not actually approach it in a vanilla way at all. I don't feel like spoiling what that'll be about until that comes. Even if it would save me from having to fill some airspace with words. There are many, many games I would like to stream. That just happens to be one of them. I still need to make, like, more time in my schedule for, playing things people have heard of. Because, my goodness, there's this one channel I watch that I watched a long time ago because they did, like, indie Mario content. Like, me playing SMBX games is an obvious extension of my interest in that area. I've had interest in watching SMBX games and projects like that for far longer than I've been playing them, personally. But I've been watching them, and they play a lot, or back in the day they played a lot of Mario ROM hacks, and that's still true today. But when I started my SMBX series this year, it inspired them to get back on the horse and resume their Let's Play efforts. And they've been, like, playing a bunch of nostalgia games from their childhood. And apparently those kind of games really, really fly on YouTube, because they went from, like, about 50 subscribers to over 1,000 in a couple of weeks, I want to say. Or was it, like... It had to have been at least a month or something, but their channel is growing very, very fast playing these nostalgia games. And I gotta admit, it was a little disheartening to watch them grow from way lower than my sub count to way higher than my sub count in an extreme fraction of the time. Like, an unbelievably shortened time frame. I've been at this for several years at this point, and we've broken even, like, 900. We're not even approaching 1,000 yet, and especially not at our growth rate. But he just plays some games from growing up, and people are flocking to it, and I'm like, wow. So maybe I should do that. Play games people have heard of from back in the day. But it's whatever. I've said before, and I will continue to say, that I'm glad the channel still grows, even with me not catering to any particular crowd, shall we say. I'm just doing what interests me, and it catches other people's interest too when it interests them, and that's how it should be. Don't need no clickbait. Don't need to beg for subs and likes. Don't gotta do nothing. Just do my own thing, and people who are interested in that thing are welcome to tag along. And if they are not interested, then I wouldn't want them to tag along anyway. Like, why put themselves through it if they're not interested? Like, if they're not genuinely interested. Jirahim has a good theme. No, get out of the save menu. Oh, God. It's fine. Everything's fine. Skyward Sword is a game I do not wish to play on this channel. I wish to never play it again, to be honest. Really did not enjoy my time with Skyward Sword. I wouldn't say it's bad per se, but it definitely pales in comparison to other Zeldas. I was more interested in the lore aspect of that game than anything else. It was interesting to see, like, the ancient origins of Hyrule. But outside of that, it was kind of just a really repetitive game. You could tell they were making the most of what they had as opposed to making new things. Like, you revisit each of the areas at least once, and there's only like 3 areas. And they're pretty large areas, but still, you can tell that the rehashing is real. They make you fight the imprisoned 3 times, and you even fight Jirahim 3 times. Or is it 4 times? Like, this is the final Jirahim theme, and you fight him 2 other times before. But I can't remember if this is, like, the actual final, or, like... I want to say the final battle of his has 2 phases. Because there's, like, an Allegro version of this song, where it's, like, the climactic... the climax of the climax fighting Jirahim. He was quite a quirky villain. Another one of the selling points of Skyward Sword. But him being a quirky and interesting villain is unrelated to the game being kind of clunky to play. And there's this, like, one minigame where one of your douchebag friends on Skyloft is throwing pumpkins, and you have to shoot the pumpkins with your bow, and you have to get like 10 of them in a row to get a heart piece or something, and it's freaking impossible. When I first did that minigame, it took me like hours to get it done, and on the successful attempt, I got something activated within me. I went Ultra Instinct and got them all perfectly. And then when that was done, I was like, you know what, never again. Never again. If I ever do play Skyward Sword again, I will not be doing the pumpkin minigame, shooting the pumpkins. Unless it's like emulated on my computer where I can click them with my mouse. That would be easier, I think, than aiming that stinking Wiimote. Such an obnoxious minigame. Open the enchanted bag. Please be rainbow seashells. No, all those are mushrooms. This one gets to loop an extra few times because the thing is, the song already has loops built into it because it's looping into its variations. But If there is a way to tell it how to do this, I haven't figured it out. The thing that calculates the loop length for the automatic song playing in this program I've made, it takes the full length of the song rather than the length of the loop. Yeah, I can probably figure out a way to change that, but as such, it's going to play the full length of the song 3 times, which means it's as long as how many loops are already in it, and it might be 2 or 3, actually. Because that's how Skyward Sword managed its battle theme. So it'd be like the battle theme when you don't have your sword out, and the battle theme when you do, and maybe a higher intensity when the battle is nearing its conclusion version, etc. and so forth. Basically, this song is 703 seconds long. Divide that by 3. No, subtract 5, then divide it by 3. That's how long the actual file is. Like 698 divided by 3. And there's a big old decimal point on that thing, too. It goes out to several decimal places. It's like 703 seconds, 0.789865. I'm not really worried about all the fractional second bits. Effectively 704 seconds, I guess. But it's fine. It's Jerry. He's a cool guy. This is another song that tends to get stuck in my head. So many different versions of it to hear. I do like that the songs themselves are noticeably different from each other, too. Like, they're all still the same basic theme and whatnot, but they have different flavors with all the instruments chosen and added and such. I still can't believe I have a second bag to open after this. These enchanted bags have gotten quite trolly, haven't they? Got 2 of them. I need to get rainbow seashells out of both of them. Empty. Open the bag. What is inside? 20 gold. Yeah. It's only like 1 in 8 or something, I want to say. I don't remember exactly. What's it say? Empty. No. Refuse. Stop. Go to the thing. Open the bag. What's in the bag? 500 gold. 500 gold. Do not need. Getting back into playing Smash Bros. Online, too. I don't know that I'm looking forward to that. Last time I played Smash Bros. Online... Oh, goodness. I was doing it to get an achievement. You basically had to go into, like, people's personal rooms, which is where all the taunt party bastards went, basically. So, you don't want to play in those rooms. I played exactly enough fights to get that achievement, and I was like, I'm done with that crap. Playing online in, like, the proper mode is a lot better. I forget what it's called. I don't remember. I only remember For Fun and For Glory from Smash 4. It's been too long since I played Ultimate Online to remember what the other thing was. Did they call it Elite Smash? I don't remember. There's 2 modes there too, and you have to get like a certain amount of experience in the one mode to get someone into the other mode. I don't know. I'm expecting to get dunked on. But I'm expecting it to also be a lot more interesting because, like, fighting humans is so much better than fighting CPUs. Humans you can kind of read and predict. Humans can compel you with purpose and intention. Computers just kind of, you never know exactly what they're going to do. Except that it's probably going to be optimal. Or faster than you'd like, perhaps. Because the computer knows what you're doing as soon as you press the buttons. You can't fool the computer. That's the one thing I really hate about that. No, there are actually several things I really hate about how Smash Bros. Is designed, but I would say Ultimate is still definitely one of the better ones. Oops, I reset upon opening the bag, rather than seeing its contents. It's okay. Do it again. Open the bag. What is inside the bag? Right, finally got them. Finally got the rainbow seashells. Save, 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 save. Alright, now let's do the other bag. You open the enchanted bag. Lan-ups. Raiders of Ruins music also tends to get stuck in my head. They had some really good boss themes in that game. Well suited to the type of game it was, too. Although that was a long and somewhat aggravating series, I really enjoyed my time with Raiders of Ruin. It had a better story than this game. For what little story it had a better story in my opinion. Just goes to show, what makes a story good isn't necessarily how long or how much is put into it. A story need only be as long as it must. Phew. Open to the bag. Bag is empty. Rainbow seashells. Thank goodness, that one didn't take nearly as long. Oh, would you save the game? Okay, back to hunting unicorns. Hey, grief. Got like an itch inside my ear. Worst. The worst. I've been having earwigs take over my apartment again. They seem to be here on a yearly basis. They're just nasty little roach things. Little pincher butts. And they get everywhere. They're exploratory. Oh god, I'm lost. I'm lost. Okay, I had reached the bottom of the screen. There we go. If there weren't things to get stuck on going over here, it wouldn't be such a big deal. Of course, also, if the game wasn't lagging to hell all the time, it wouldn't be a big deal. But it is. It is. Unicorn! We surprised the unicorn, but the unicorn also kind of surprised me. Enchanted bag! Alright, one more unicorn on the board. Man, I really definitely wanted to be back to opening these things like again so soon. I shouldn't complain, this is the goal. Save the game. Okay, let's open yet another. We're already up to 99 in the inventory. We should have like 125, I want to say. But yeah, we're definitely going to buy the other 100 shell item off of Paradise Island today. And then we'll just have to see how many fairy inks they let me get before the end of the stream. So much money. You don't need it. I only need seashells. Only seashells. I'm trying to think what else I have got going on right now, but nothing's really coming to mind. I feel like we've touched on all the bases, or at least all the things I feel like are worth talking about. Good grief. Talked about art, talked about game design, talked about future streams and how the channel is doing, talked about games I'm playing. Guess I didn't talk about the Pokemon game I'm playing. Still working on Heart Gold. I've got to beat the gym leaders again. I gathered them all together in the dojo in Saffron, but they're pretty real, man. Like, my team is just high enough level to contend with them. And the other day I looked up where I can find the stone to evolve my Togetic, so that'll help a little bit. But man, defeating all those guys is going to be a challenge in itself. And I've still got to do red after them. If I'm not ready for those guys, I'm definitely not ready for red. But we'll get by somehow. If I really need to grind, I'll just start taking on the Elite Four a whole bunch. They are perfect for that. You don't even need to beat them to get the experience, you know? You just keep going in. And as long as you've got an amulet coin and you can beat one of them, you won't be running out of cash. I don't know what was in the bag because it didn't show me the message. Fat! I mean, it showed me the message, I just got impatient and started pressing buttons. Oh hey, the song looping, it just reminded me. One thing I did do with these Raiders of Ruins themes, they don't have proper loops in that game, so I gave them new loops. They loop better in my program than in the game they're actually from. And there are several songs like that on this playlist. Like, if a song doesn't have a natural loop, I will add one. So it's not just like looping to its intro awkwardly. Nothing grates me more than bad loops of music. That's not true. Many things grate me more than that, but it's extremely annoying. There's a problem I have with, like, the Undertale and Deltarune soundtracks. Because they always seem to just... They don't loop their songs right. I don't understand it. Like, Toby Fox is clearly a talented music developer, and yet he still doesn't have good loops on his songs? Like, seriously? He does all that work making such great tracks, and they don't freaking loop properly. It's like, come on, man. Come on. Seriously. Make me make better loops than what you've got in the actual game. Honest to goodness. Where am I? Oh god, I hate this screen so much. There I am. Go, Ren. You're up here. Okay. Unicorn! How does it keep happening? Not complaining. The unicorns want to get this over with, too. Enchanted bird! Whee! 39's the unicorn. Unless I forgot to count one, which is entirely possible. Let's go save before we open the enchanted bag. Save the game. Okay. Okay. It's like 3 in a row, isn't it? We've seen nothing but unicorns 3 in a row. We're on a wacky part of the RNG chart at this point. Oh gosh. Although it's going to be a little bit before we resume playing Aiden on stream, I actually am going to be picking that game back up pretty soon. That'll be this week. I'm resuming a personal challenge run I was doing in Aiden Plus. I wanted to do a run in it where I didn't change things constantly to see how it holds up. And I already have a few ideas for things I'd like to tweak. Mainly how I handled the equipment requirements, because I'd like to make more things strength-oriented for the characters that only have strength and low intelligence, so that they have things they can equip before they get some serious investment in their intelligence, namely fighters and such. But it also makes sense that certain things wouldn't necessarily need intelligence. I mean, arguably, a lot of things would make sense that you don't need intelligence to get the value out of them. Like, anyone can put on a farmer's hat, and it's going to provide the protection that a farmer's hat would. But, I had an intelligence requirement on mine, because it also boosts merchant. So it's like, maybe it's not so much that you're wearing the hat, but rather, what was it? I lost my train of thought. Not that you're wearing the hat, but that you're wearing it smart. Like, you gotta look the part too. And if you don't get it just right, you don't get the benefits of merchant, and therefore, yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. Point is, there are some skills that are definitely more like physically oriented that wouldn't necessarily benefit or require intelligence to accrue the benefits of. So I'm just gonna like reevaluate those things and put more stuff in the strength camp. I'm a bit surprised I have 2 Raiders of Ruins themes right in a row here. I usually try to structure the sorting of this playlist such that songs like these don't end up back to back, but sometimes it doesn't work out. Like the one we just heard was, it's probably designated as Final Raiders in the list, and this one would be designated as Final Remix. So the only reason they're back to back as it currently stands is because there is no song that's final with an R that would separate the two. But yeah, I jump through hoops to keep things from piling up too much. Just save the game, we got the shells. One example is the Pokemon battle themes, where they all start with battle! Exclamation point. If I did that, there would be like over 100 songs in a row that are all from Pokemon, because they all just start with that title. So instead, I named them after, like, whatever the type of battle thing they are. So it's like, Battle, Wild Pokemon. Battle, Trainer Battle. One of those would start with Wild, and one of those would start with Trainer. But you know, there's a problem there, because in Pokemon, those two themes in particular are going to be present in every generation. There's always a Battle Wild Pokemon, or Battle Trainer Battle in every single generation, and they're different. And I don't want those to pile up either. So what I ended up doing was I named those ones after the versions they're from. So the original games, there's Wild Pokemon and Trainer Battle. Those ones get to be their regular titles from Red and Blue. But then as soon as you get to Gold Silver, the Wild Battle theme is named Gold in the list, and the Trainer Battle theme is named Silver in the list, etc. and so forth. So that keeps them away from not only each other, but also from other similar tracks from other Pokemon games. For gym leaders, they're named after the region they're in. For the Elite Four, they're named after the generation they're in. And the champion theme is, unless it's either a unique word, like champion, or final, or whatever, or it's just named after whoever the champion is. So, like, champion, or no, like, Battle Champion from Gen 3 would be named Steven, where Battle Champion in Gen 4 would be named Cynthia, etc. And for, like, the evil teams, they're named after what team they are, so, like, Team Skull's theme is just called Skull, or Team Rocket's theme would be Rocket, etc., and so forth. The bosses of the teams are just named after the bosses themselves. That's our 40th unicorn. Nice. So anyway, yeah, that also explains why the songs in this list don't necessarily come up in alphabetical order. It's because they're sorted by an index name like that instead. And it serves it serves mainly the purpose of not having too many similar tracks in a row. But sometimes you get unfortunate circumstances like this one, where the two songs, they could theoretically be separated, but they just aren't because they're so similar in title, and there's no other real way to, or reasonable way to split them up. Although it is kind of funny how it works out sometimes. Because, like, one of the things that I couldn't quite avoid with the naming convention I just described for Pokemon is that in Gen 6, Pokemon X and Y, well, the Wild Battle theme was named X, and that one also has Battle Xerneas Yveltal, and Xerneas starts with an X, so obviously those two tracks are very close together. But despite how close they are in the list, they actually already have, I want to say there's already one thing separating them. I don't remember what it was, but something snuck in there. And whenever I eventually add the battle themes from GoldenEye into here, there's another unicorn. Xenia is actually going to fit right between those two, so that's pretty fun as well. But there is one instance where I could not avoid separating the two, or having the two songs together, and that was with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Because they had their own Wild and Trainer themes, and when you name one Ultra Sun and the other Ultra Moon, well, that just still puts them right next to each other. I forgot to read the bestiary for my 40th guy. We should read it now. Before we look at the enchanted bag, sure. And the Pirate, King Kraken, Impy. A troublesome little imp that roams the desert. It loves to play tricks and cause mischief daily. Not anymore, it's dead. Impy's urn is what it dropped. And there was Gargos. Gargos were originally gifted as statues to the pharaoh. They were given life by the pharaoh. Why? They don't drop anything. Mummy. These mummies are preserved and buried within tombs as a burial tradition of Ishin. They have dropped bandit traps. Boneyard, not a pirate at all. Undead soldiers of the late pharaoh. Though they are strong, they are also boneheads. They drop dark orbs. Tomb Keep. The protector of the pharaoh's chamber of riches. A spell has caused it to reanimate. Oh no. They dropped the quicksand relic. Chomper. Much like the viper, these snakes are brutal attackers. Their fangs are also twice as large. Oh no. Watch out, they drop dragon's blood. The Sphinx. The famed beasts of Ishin itself. These Sphinx are the eternal guardians of the pharaoh's tomb. They dropped light orbs. Lamia. Lamia are the descendants of the serpent god, Zota. They are half human and half snake. Very observant. They drop golden thread. The Gigante, rare. It is unclear where these giants originated from. Ancient scriptures in Ishin have shown giants. Oh, okay. They drop giant sprays. And then there's Sebek. This monster is feared by all of Ishin. It is said that looters were placed in a pit with this beast. And it's true. It drops the Rain Dancer. Alright, let's save. Save the game. Save the game. Maybe restore HPMP. I don't know that I actually need to. Alright, let's open the enchanted bag yet again. Another enchanted bag down. We've gotten quite a few. Come on. Show me the contents. Yeah, corn. Boiled shrooms. How did the unicorn boil the shrooms in the first place? Bag. Inside was nothing. You'd think you would be able to tell that just from holding the bag, because it had just no weight at all. Come on now. That's not the thing. Man, we've had more trouble opening these bags than we have finding the unicorns. But that stands to reason. I mean, we knew it was going to be faster to find the unicorns as soon as we started running from everything. I'm really astonished that the guide did not make note of the fact that you can just get infinite rainbow seashells out of these bags, and therefore infinite fairy inks. I think it didn't occur to them to try to buy more than one fairy ink from the shop. Because everywhere else in the game you can get rainbow seashell, or not rainbow seashells, everywhere else in the game you can get fairy inks. It's been a limited resource. So maybe they bought it once and just never looked at the menu again because everything else on that menu is just whatever. Not important. Alright, we got our seashells. Save the game. This is a song I was not able to identify the source of. I know what the song's title was because I was able to find it in the files of The Lost itself, but I never got around to figuring out which of their music sources this one specifically came from. And when I asked the developer, they got back to me about it like over a year later, and they were extremely unhelpful. They didn't tell me anything. They're like, oh, the music credits are there, and I was like, the reason I asked you is so I wouldn't have to, like, decipher which or which, and he was like, well, thanks, guy. Appreciate you. At least I do have the actual title. That does help. Just not real big on my priority list, figuring out the exact source of this song. And that's true of several other tracks on here as well. That's why this one says The Lost? Question mark? As opposed to other ones where It just said lost second in the actual source first. Incidentally, if you, by some stroke of fate, happen to know where this song is from, let me know. It's a pretty epic track. I dig it. I don't know if it was always this speed, though. The Lost slowed down a bunch of the tracks from what I could tell. Like when I was looking them up, the tracks I found on the websites and such were almost, well, not inevitably, but a lot of them were much faster than the versions you hear in battle in the Lost. I have the slow versions in this playlist, though. Because that were the ones how I came to know them as battle themes in the first place. Couldn't get away and destroy them. I forget what I was talking about. If I was talking about anything at all. I feel like we've discussed very many things here today, none of which are important in any regard at all. The one actually important thing I could be doing that I haven't really discussed is that philosophy book I've been meaning to write. It's a bit sad. I feel like it's been pushed like completely out of my mind at this point. Just a few too many distractions within the last month or so that got my mind on a completely different track, but I still feel like it's an important thing that I'd like to get written. Just not sure when. I have a plan that will catch me up on everything this week. Whether I can execute upon it is another story entirely. It feels like it's just been... The story of my year so far has just been falling behind on things and then trying to catch up on them again. Quite tragic. Not how I hoped my year would go at all. But I'm also willing to admit there have been plenty of extenuating circumstances. Things that weren't necessarily my fault happened. And as many times as I've slipped behind, I have been catching up regularly regardless. It's pretty rare that I stay behind for long, so even if things have not been going ideally, I am at least keeping up. Keeping up much better than last year. Which means more things are getting done, and that's super great. Progress is good. Anyway, because my time is being divided between so many things, and therefore my attention, finding the time and the will to write such a thing has just been not doable for me. Gotta get to it eventually. Looks like things will be calming down after this week, though. In fact, even the plan I have for this week upcoming is, what's the word? Less grueling than I had been doing prior, so I'll be able to get proper rest and take breaks every now and then. A little more room to breathe always helps. Open the bag. Inside the bag was... Need something else. Something better. Shells. Down to another, 20 minutes here. Shells! Yay. Save that. Thank you very much. Let's go find more. Rack up those shells. We started this stream at like 29 and we're up to 42, is that it? So it's like 13 unicorns we found. But I feel like we've opened more bags than that. I guess we've opened at least 14 since we had those 2 bags at the start. Or that one bag I hadn't opened from last time, I guess. Gotta figure out what went wrong there. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a clear idea of where we are by the end of this stream. Because I'm gonna let myself... We'll hunt for them for like 10 more minutes, and then we'll use the last 10 to buy fairy inks and that one item. Get the item first, and then we know everything else will be going into fairy inks, and they'll stop us when we can't afford anymore. Oh, they didn't let me go. This song was actually made for the game it's in. That's pretty cool. Congrats, Osiroshi. I would have called the song Osiroshi, but the original battle theme for Osiroshi was named after him anyway. So I named that. And this one got to be called Final Struggle in the list. We've seen a lot of bosses in SMBX already, and I still feel like Osiroshi is definitely one of the best. I don't necessarily know how I would measure him up against like some of the things in a second SMBX thing, because man, those things. I've been watching a Let's Play of that, not having played it myself. But wow, they have some really elaborate and interesting bosses. Another unicorn down. This song is a bit on the quiet side, though. I'll probably have to do something about that at some point. Just give it a little volume boost with Audacity, which is the program I use to figure all these things out anyway. Because I do have to loop all these songs manually, you see. I've got to shorten the file such that they stop right at the loop point, and then tell Ren'Py where to loop to afterward. But as tedious as that activity is, I actually do enjoy it to some degree. There's just something satisfying about it. More bags. We will get the shells. I'm debating what to do about all the scrap metal in my inventory. It kind of depends on what recipes can be made with them. I would like to unload them somehow. Even if we're just going to sell the devices that were resulting from it. I'm kind of curious to see what the smallest inventory possible in this game will look like. What are the things that they deemed unsellable? No. Go to the pause menu. Although we're basically there already. It doesn't get much smaller than it currently is. Oh, load the game. Now there's an idea. I had mentioned previously that I was kind of interested in doing a series where we go into SMBX and remove the lazy blocks from levels to demonstrate how useless they are, or how unnecessary they are. And it occurred to me just now that I could do that in the stream series if an SMBX game that uses lazy blocks finds its way into my queue. See, like, I already have a whole bunch of games that I want to do streams of. It's not like that is lacking for content there. But I had the idea before of allowing things to enter that list if they came up on my regular games list. Like, say I'd finally finished GoldenEye and I was going to my games list to see what thing it would randomly throw at me next. If it was a game I'd already played, or something that I could, like, put on the internet, I was going to add it to my stream list or just my regular playlist, depending on what the game was. But if I have an SMBX game on that list and it tries to chuck me one that way, and that game uses lazy blocks, then I could add it to my stream list and be like, this will be the time. We'll look at this game specifically, remove the lazy blocks, and show that it's okay, you don't need to use them. Yeah, I like that idea. The only thing about it I don't like is I'm going to have to learn how to use modern SMBX. And that's just a little bit daunting because it has reached that point where things are all, like, really, really complicated. And you can do just about anything with it. And as I described in my Editor Plus playthrough of Spelunky, whenever an editor reaches that point, it's just the point at which I lose interest personally. I don't know why. I enjoy my limited editors. Seeing what I can do with the tools I'm provided rather than, you can do anything. Choice paralysis is real. I like succeeding within constraints, not lifting constraints. Or, I guess I should rather say, I like innovating within constraints, because succeeding with constraints is a whole other bag. Arguably, my constraints, every constraint I've ever employed, has only harmed my work rather than helped it. Anyway, yeah, learning how to use SMBX. I'd have to figure that out. It's probably not that bad. Especially if just removing the lazy blocks and rejiggering the level to work without them is all I'm doing. Maybe I won't need to gain such a sophisticated understanding of the program to make that happen. Things people make, they just boggle my mind. I always have to remind myself that degrees of success exist, and just because you can't do something as well as one guy doesn't mean you're not doing it well at all. I feel like that one poem Natsuki wrote, Eagles Can Fly, really encapsulates the issue I have. Everyone else just seems to soar so effortlessly, where all I can manage is a little jump. Very frustrating. That's why you gotta learn to play to your strengths. After all, most of the things that are about as good as they can be are made by, like, multiple people who are pooling their abilities rather than just one guy doing everything. For a person who almost always sails alone, I'd say I do just fine for myself. Things could certainly be better. Things could also certainly be worse. And that's just generally true of everything I make. But for a one-person effort, I'd say that's a substantial factor to consider. Just not into collaborating, what can I say? I know I can depend on myself. I know I can't necessarily depend on other people. But at the same time, I'm not capable of everything. Save again. Oh gosh, we're down to like the last 10 minutes. I guess we'd better cash in these rainbow seashells. Alright, first things first. Let's go get that item. We got the staff last time, so this time we're getting the sword. Alright, I can't pause here. I'm trying to use the pause menu to update the screen. Is it on more? There it goes. I pressed the button. 99. Trade in 99 seashells. Now we're getting the energy blade. It was said energy blade, not energy sword. You ripped me off, lady. Talk to this stupid fairy. How can I help you? I want to leave. Oh wait, no. Ugh. Sigh. Can I just hit the B button to go back? I can't. It's not the B button, I forget. Since I'm a Nintendo person, the B button to cancel is like the default in my brain. This will never not be the case. Okay, so we got the energy sword. There it is. Hey, it's at least faster than Judgment. But here, we were going to give it to Leon, so it's Party Jewel. I don't think anybody did any leveling up, because we didn't really fight that many monsters. Serena's still 78. Game, show me the box! Oh my god. Leon is 79. Hello? Did it move? It moved. I didn't get to see Peace's level. 78. Okay. 78, 79, 78. What level are you? 79. Okay. They're just kind of forming a pattern so far. Magic party? No. You gonna break the pattern, Knight? What level are you? Update the screen, please. Oh my god, this thing. He's only 76. He's actually way behind. Good grief. Well, we'll add Leon for the moment. Hello! Game! Work! Ugh. Out of the party. Yes. And we'll restore it back to who we had afterward, after we give him the sword. It's all lagging. Come on now. I don't have all night. Party's been formed. You want to make any changes? No. Did I do it? I did it. Okay, good. Criminy. Hey, Leon. It's better for your speed, too. Yeah, you get to use that for now. At least its animation is bound to be faster than Smolgoon. Unless it's not. God help us all. Alright, now let's put the party back the way it was. Party Jubal again. We want you. And you, and Knight. There we go. I guess I should update the HUD as well. It's not Lena anymore. Lena, get out of here. Peace is back. Lena is gone. There we go. Those are the peeps. Those are the peoples. Let's go get skills. Fairy inks. Cash in as many fairy inks as we can. I have no idea how many. You seriously can't walk more than one tile without it lagging. Oh, sorry, it's more like 2. Trying to run from monsters with this group ought to be interesting. Serene and Peace are both kind of on the pokey side of things. Show me the menu, please. I wonder if the program ain't messing with this a bit. Let's turn off the media player for now. Here, I'll even put the game sound back on. Open the volume mixer. Doodly-doo. Lakria Legends. Muted no longer. Oh, so loud. Log. Gotta fix it here too. There we go. Now I can hear what I'm doing at least. By sound, if not sight. Fairy ink. So that's 3 we've made. I don't know what part of the menu we're in right now. Just hold the phone. Video game work. Game. Game. Okay, there she was still on that one. I wasn't sure. Alright, so we didn't have enough for more, apparently. Okay, 3 fairy inks. I mean, we did spend 175 shells at least. And yeah, they're all gone from the inventory. We'll just have to see. Now we gotta go to Paradise Island and upgrade a few people. Let's see, I do believe we definitely got through Ren and Serene. We're up to 52 of 66. At least that's what the thing says. This game. Upgrades. I guess we'll just check Leon. I thought we finished him, but we might not have. Oh, God. Okay, now we didn't quite finish Leon, so we're going to be using 2 of the inks on him. That's number 1. this one, Nova Overload. And that means we're going to be giving this last one to Peace before we wrap up. So yeah, he has 3 left. And the other 2 should each have 4. So I'm just gonna check them real quick for my own personal reference. Yeah, she still needs 4. And he still needs 4. 6, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 skills left. So we've done, yeah, 55, just like the thing says. Good! Alright, let me just get that taken care of real quick. Oh my god, I cannot see a damn thing. I wasn't trying to save money on power. So hard. I've got the bill down to like 25 a month. Pretty great. But anyway, that is going to do it for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time with more Lakria Legends. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye.